What is up, you guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you with Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone. Dallas, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, man, feeling good about it. So last week I went 10-6. Dallas went 11-5, and not bad weeks by either of us. Dallas is 2-0 on splits, but both had a solid week. So now week 3 is in the book. So now it's time to do the week 4 game picks. Starting it off, Thursday Night Football. I will be going live for that game from where I'm going to be at. You guys should tune into that stream. I'm going to set up that live stream Thursday because you know what week it is. This is the week I fly out to New York. So tune in for that stream. I will be going live, smoking cigars, and watching the Lions-Packers Thursday night game from Lambeau Field from Soho Cigar Bar in New York City. So get ready to tune in for that stream. But, all right. Got the Detroit Lions going to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. The Lions took care of their business against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Packers, Jordan Love's Lambeau Field debut, first game as a starter, clawed back from down 17 to win it 18-17. Granted, Derek Carr did get hurt in that game.
Yeah.
Surprise
That was a nice comeback by Green Bay.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Green Bay, I gotta say, Detroit's going to beat you for a third consecutive time. I'm taking the Lions to go into Lambeau Field and get another win there. Give me Detroit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Detroit as well. I just think they're a little bit better than Green Bay right now, and I like them to get to 3-1 and stay in first place.
Yeah,
and the NFC North. This should be a really good game, though.
Yeah, this is the game where Detroit pretty much takes over the North. I mean, where Detroit takes over the North. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be. I mean, Detroit's shown so far that they're the best team in that division by far and away.
Yeah, they bounced back from that tough loss against us last week.
Yep, they beat the Falcons by what was the final score of that game between Detroit and Atlanta?
20-6.
20-6. All right, and speaking of that, up next, starting off the Sunday slate, we got the first London game. We got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars from Wembley Stadium in London, England. The Falcons coming off of that loss to the Lions, as mentioned before, and the Jacksonville Jaguars laid an egg and fell for a trap at home against C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. That one was an absolute shocker.
Yeah, and they got dominated.
They did get dominated, man. Whew. This game should be good, man. I'm thinking, man, who do you trust more in this game?
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Falcons. The Falcons obviously 1-2. No, wait, they're 2-1 now. They just lost their first game of the season like we predicted to the Detroit Lions, and the Jacksonville Jaguars surprisingly losing to the losing their freaking second game, losing to the freaking Houston Texans. The Jaguars are 1-2 now.
Yeah, slow start. They did not look that good so far.
Yeah, but I mean, Bijan Robinson's still running good for the Falcons. Falcons still got some guys. Jacksonville Jaguars, we know I think they got a better squad. I'm gonna take the Jaguars to win another one in London. Give me the Jags.
Yeah, give me the Jags. I think they're going to be desperate to avoid going 0-3, and they got to be pretty pissed off after not even showing up at home last week against Houston. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville because I think they're the more desperate team.
Way more desperate, man, than Atlanta, because Atlanta already has 2 wins. But, that should be a good game to wake up. Well, thankfully, I don't have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning because I'm going to be 3 hours ahead, so I can sleep a little bit before that game starts.
Yeah, you can.
Because I'm going to be in New York. Well, sorry for your sake that you might have to wake up early for that. Unless I think the game is on ESPN Plus or.
Yeah, I know it's only on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Man, but definitely keep an eye on the scores for that one, man. All right, up next we got the Los Angeles Rams going to Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Rams just dropped a tough one against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals got their revenge. I mean, if they truly want to get their revenge, they'll have to beat them in a Super Bowl, though. But the Super Bowl 56 rematch came and gone. The Bengals ended up winning 16-13. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts surprise win with Gardner Minshew beating Lamar Jackson in overtime.
Yeah, Matt Gay kicked 5 field goals.
Yeah. And, man, I can't believe...
they win overtime, yeah.
I mean, granted, they did mention about a controversial call where John Harbaugh wanted a pass interference in overtime on a freaking 4th down play, but, I mean, what do you think of? What did you think of that play when you saw the highlights?
Yeah, it kind of looked like a pass interference to me, but they didn't call it, and the Colts ended up winning.
Yeah, well, the Colts have Anthony Richardson back this week. That's what I want to know, because I know Richardson had a concussion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know that's why Gardner Minshew was playing, and Minshew didn't play that bad, but, man, add another highlight to him. He beat Lamar Jackson. Add that to one of his many highlights. I think Gardner Minshew's best highlight, though, was winning that last game in Oakland back in 2019 still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Didn't these teams play in, like, week 2 in 2021?
Yeah. And freaking LA just ran all over him, obviously.
Then that was the week after we beat them in week 1 in 2021.
Yeah. I'm taking Los Angeles again to beat the Colts again. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams to bounce back. They're going to be desperate to avoid going 0-3, or 1-3, I should say.
Yeah. Up next, AFC North rivalry. We got the Baltimore Ravens going to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. Ravens with that tough loss at home against the Indianapolis Colts, and the Cleveland Browns got that win. Just absolutely did their thing against the Tennessee Titans. It's like the Titans never had a chance. They only put up 3 points. I was surprised by that, because I know Steel Sermon also picked the Titans as well. I know you leaned more towards the Cleveland Browns, but that was they still got that defense, and Deshaun Watson's starting to play a little bit better, and looks like he's shooking off the rust.
Yeah, but both their wins have been blowouts.
Yeah, and they got Ford playing good at filling in for freaking Nick Chubb, who's out for the year, and then they recently re-signed Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt's back on the Browns for another year, and Myles Garrett continues to be problems for opposing offenses on that Cleveland Browns defense. He's a freaking weapon, and just, Deshaun Watson, we'll see if they can continue it. You know what? I think with Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to be anxious to see how they bounce back, because we know they got a good defense too, but I still cannot believe they lost that game at home to Indianapolis, man.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah. This is another tough one, man. AFC North's a little iffy. You know what, though? I'm gonna take the Cleveland Browns to hand Baltimore another loss. Give me the Browns. I like what I've seen so far from them.
Yeah, give me the Browns to get to 3-1 and hand the Ravens their second straight loss. I've liked what I've seen in their wins.
Yeah.
And even their loss was competitive, If without those 2 defensive scores by Pittsburgh, they'd probably be 3-0 right now.
Yeah, especially the first play of the game when Highsmith got the pick 6 for Pittsburgh, and then obviously the freaking strip by Highsmith where TJ Watt scooped and scored it. Yeah. All right, up next, we got the Minnesota Vikings going to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Vikings are 0-3, losing to the LA Chargers at home. And meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers, we spanked them on our Super Bowl 48 10-year anniversary, a convincing 37-27 win. Granted, their touchdown to get to 27 was in garbage time. Jake Bobo scored his first career touchdown to punch in the dagger. Andy Dalton, you know what? I think for Bryce Young, I think it'd be best for him to just sit behind and learn, because Bryce Young has shown he's not ready to be a starter yet. I feel like Andy Dalton gives the Panthers a better chance to win right now.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, Bryce Young, you need to take the page from Mahomes and just sit down and just walk and just learn. I mean, Adam Thielen, he still had a pretty good game for the Panthers, and freaking DJ Chark had that touchdown catch, and we sacked Andy Dalton 3 times, 2 of which by my dog Jay Reed, including the 4th down, which set us up to hit Jake Bobo for the touchdown and the crazy 2-point conversion to Tyler Lockett. Minnesota Vikings, I think this is where they get their first win. Give me the Vikings to knock the Panthers to 0-4.
Yeah, give me the Vikings to get off the schneid and get their first win. The Panthers still have a lot of things to work out, being a young team, rookie quarterback. Yeah, they're probably in for a long year, the Panthers.
Yeah, Chicago fans got to be pretty happy right now, because they have their draft pick because of what Carolina gave up to them to freaking get Bryce Young at number 1. So the the Bears have their first round pick. Heck, and Bears are winless too, so what's the possibility the Chicago Bears could have picks number 1 and 2? They could get possibly.
Very high possibility.
They could possibly get.
With the way the Bears have looked so far.
Yeah, they could possibly get freaking. If the Bears end up with picks number 1 and 2, they can end up getting another better, solid offensive lineman for Justin Fields, and then possibly Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State, another target to complement DJ Moore and be a dual threat, receiving threat with Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago is really benefiting from that trade so far, but they need to freaking put. So. But they got to get better protection for Justin Fields. But, going Minnesota to knock Carolina to 0-4. All right, up next we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans got beat pretty convincingly by the Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals pulled through and won 16-13 on Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams at home. It wasn't pretty, but Burrow, even though wasn't 100%, but he was able to hit some key guys and set up McPherson for some key field goals and got a key touchdown. Who scored their lone touchdown in that game?
Oh, God, I can't. I think it was Mixon.
Mixon? Sure it wasn't Higgins?
I think the final was actually 19-16.
Yeah, 19-16. They had 2 touchdowns. I think it was Mixon and T. Higgins that scored for the Cincinnati Bengals. But, yeah. Tennessee Titans, what is wrong with them? I mean, ever since they got that overtime win and then freaking the way they dropped in week 1, and they're freaking 1-2. And, I'm thinking it's going to continue for them. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to hand Tennessee another loss. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, give me the Bengals to get back to 500. I think they're going to start finding their groove here.
Yeah. All right, we got another tough one, NFC South. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Bucs got manhandled by the Philadelphia Eagles 25-11 last night.
Yeah.
And then the New Orleans Saints choked that game in Lambeau Field, choked a 17-0 lead to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Granted, Derek Carr got hurt and is week to week, and it will most likely be Jameis Winston starting at quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And man, I mean, for granted as good as the Saints defense is, and they're going to have it's going to be tough for them not having Derek Carr. And then Jameis Winston, who has been a turnover machine in the past, too, having to be their quarterback. Granted, let's see what they run with Taysom Hill.
A Jameis Winston revenge game, maybe?
Maybe a Jameis Winston revenge game, but I think I like Baker Mayfield more than Jameis Winston, to be honest with you. And quarterback factor will definitely play a huge part. Buccaneers obviously lost their first game to Philadelphia, and, I'm going to go ahead, though, and I'm going to lean towards Tampa Bay to go into the Superdome and get a win. I'm going to take the Bucs.
Yeah, if Derek Carr doesn't play, I'll probably have to go with Tampa Bay, but Baker Mayfield did not look that good last night.
He didn't look that good though. But this is possibly a tough one, man. But I'm gonna lean Tampa Bay though, because I trust Baker more than Jameis Winston.
I guess Tampa Bay to bounce back.
Yeah,
this could go either way because the Saints still have a really good defense.
They do. This is a tough one, man. Granted, that defense did have an epic collapse in Green Bay.
Yeah, but then they got to be kicking themselves for letting that game slip away, and then that kicker missing a field goal late.
Yeah. All right. Up next, AFC East rivalry. We got the Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. The Miami Dolphins made mincemeat out of the Denver Broncos. 70 points, for God's sake.
Yeah, they put it on them.
They really did. I mean, it was insane. I mean, Raheem Mostert, 4 touchdowns. A-Chain with 4 touchdowns. I mean, Raheem Mostert practically won my buddy Zach Mamlock his fantasy that week. I remember when I saw that from another fan of Mimsy, like, oh my God, Raheem Mostert just won me my fantasy in that game too. It's like, holy crap. I don't play fantasy, but yeah, that's how crazy it was. It practically won my friend his fantasy.
Yeah, that game looked like a division, like a top 25 team against an FCS team. That's what it looked like.
That's what it was, like a college football score.
Yeah.
For earlier on in the year. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills kicked the living crap out of the Washington Commanders. The Commanders only got 3 points on them. I think the Bills scored like 37 in that game. Was it 37-3 the final?
Yeah, 37-3.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good one,
This
man.
will be the game of the week.
Game of the week by far and away. But you know what? I really like what's going on over there down in South Beach. I'm actually going to take the Miami Dolphins to keep it rolling. I like what I've seen from them. Give me Miami.
Yeah, give me Miami to get to 4-0. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and if Tua can stay healthy, I think they can make a deep run in the AFC.
By far and away, Miami, man, it's between the AFC East. Let's be real, it's between Miami and Buffalo.
Yeah,
this is definitely had the making for a game of the week, but I gotta lean towards Miami because I really like what I see from them, and Mike McDaniels could be in the running for Coach of the Year.
I know it's early, but yeah, he's probably definitely in the running through the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's made an early good impression. All right, up next, we got the Toilet Bowl. We got the Denver Broncos going to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. The Broncos got absolutely embarrassed. They were shredded. They were made into mincemeat. They were absolutely got it up the rear hard, man. That's how embarrassing it was for them. Broncos fans don't even want to show their faces in public. No offense, Denver Broncos fans, but it's like, dang, that's how embarrassed you guys got by Miami. That was definitely way worse than what we did to y'all in Super Bowl 48.
Yeah, I can't remember a beatdown like that in the NFL before.
That's rare, man. I mean, and Miami could have gone for the record, too. They could have gone for the record.
1 year, I think Baltimore beat Miami, 59-10 in, what was it, 2019? Remember that game?
It's been a long time. There are some games that we're going to have to look back on for sure.
Miami set a franchise record.
I still remember.
I can't remember the last time an NFL team scored 70.
I don't remember. It was one of the way while back. The record is 73.
I think it was the last time was 1966.
Yeah, 73. 73 points. I forgot who scored that 73 points, man. They showed it on ESPN. I would like to find out who scored that again.
Or that
someone drop in the comments.
Also reminded me of the Patriots beating down the Titans in 2009 in the snow in Foxborough, 59-0. I remember that game.
Or what about what we did to the Arizona Cardinals in 2012 in Seattle, 58-0?
Yeah, I remember 58-0.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Chicago Bears got obliterated 41-10, I think, by the Kansas City Chiefs.
10 garbage points late.
Yeah. Both these teams are just god-awful. The Sean Payton era is definitely not off to a good start.
A really bad start.
Oh, man.
What is wrong with Denver's defense?
They got absolutely smoked. Man, Bradley Chubb more than got his revenge, I would have to say.
Yeah, I think that blowing that game against Washington absolutely demoralized Denver.
By far and away. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears, they could possibly... They don't have a win yet either.
If the Bears keep playing like this, they'll probably have the number 1 pick.
They might have number 1 and 2 if Carolina continues to absolutely shit the bed. Yeah. Oh my God. I trust Russell Wilson more than Justin Fields, though. I'm going to take the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos. They have to be absolutely humiliated. That was an embarrassment. I hate to say it. I felt bad for them.
I know, right?
Because we don't have any benefit in them losing this year. We don't get their pick anymore.
Yeah.
God, I wish we did.
Could you have been bad?
I think Brennan Nelson made a video about that. Man, do we wish we had the Denver's first round pick this year?
Oh yeah, I think I caught a glimpse of that one too. All right.
Man, I can't believe they might be worse than last year, and last year was a disaster for them.
By far and away. Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Washington Commanders going to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles won pretty convincingly over Tampa Bay, and the Commanders got absolutely embarrassed by the Buffalo Bills, as expected. I can't believe people were actually thinking about taking Washington to upset the Bills. There was no way it was going to happen.
Well, like I said, Washington was probably the worst 2-0 team.
By far and away. All right.
And they got exposed.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles to get to 4-0.
Yep.
They look like they finally had a convincing win.
Yeah,
last night.
That they did. All right, up next we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Houston to take on the Texans. The Steelers won on Sunday night against the Las Vegas Raiders in Vegas. First time the Steelers won against the Raiders when the Raiders were the home team in a long time, as I remember. Yinzer Max Sports. Shout out to Yinzer Max Sports, formerly known as Steel Sermon. Matt, shout out to Yinzer Max Sports. I bet you were pretty happy about finally, ending that trend of losing to the Raiders when the Raiders were the home team. I bet he was pretty happy about that. I would have to check out his post-game thing a little later after I'm done with this. But meanwhile, the Houston Texans went into Jacksonville and upset the Jaguars.
Yeah, that was surprising.
And C.J. Stroud got his first win. Congratulations to that young man. We'll see what else Houston does later on when they're building. But, I think they're going to be in for a letdown. Give me the Steelers to go into Houston and just take care of their business against the Texans. I like the Steelers' defense more in this. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, give me the Steelers to get their third in a row after that drubbing they took at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers in Week 1.
Yeah, definitely true to that, man. All right. Up next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi Stadium. The Raiders lost to the Steelers on Sunday night, and the Chargers got their first win of the season against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, back and forth game.
Technically a home game for the Raiders, since the Los Angeles fans, Raider fans in LA will definitely be taking over SoFi like they always do every time they play the Chargers. That's like their Allegiant Stadium West, I would have to say, since obviously, but then again, we've got to remember the Raiders were in LA for a time. They won a Super Bowl in LA too. Yeah. So the Raider fan base in LA is definitely live down there from what we've seen in the past too. Meanwhile, like we said, Chargers got their first win of the season, and it wasn't even pretty. I can't believe Brandon Staley went for it on fourth down and on his own side of the field and almost lost the game. Brandon Staley is on the hot seat this year for sure, man. I cannot believe that. Why the heck would you not punt it to risk freaking losing the game? You got to punt it, man. You just got to punt it. I saw the highlights on NFL Primetime, and Chris Berman and Booger McFarland was really ripping into Brandon Staley. I remember that.
Yeah, just like Josh McDaniels, they're down 8 with, just over 2 minutes left, and he kicks a field goal, and they never got the ball back.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a very strange call, I think, in my opinion.
Brandon Staley's lucky that it didn't come back to bite him because the Chargers tipped it and Kenneth Murray intercepted it to win the game, though, for the Chargers to secure the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're up like that, and I know he's trying to gamble, but you don't do it like that. You got to let your defense win you the game. You got to punt it. You got to put your defense in better position and not put a lot of pressure on them. You were lucky that pass got tipped and intercepted by Kenneth Murray, but next time it's like that, punt it. Try to pin them deep. Not give them a chance. Let your defense win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Chargers though to take care of their business against the Raiders. I trust them a little bit more than I trust the Raiders right now. I think the Chargers will get after Jimmy Garoppolo and make life hell for him, just like the freaking Steelers did. I'm gonna take the LA Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers to get 2 in a row. I just like them better than the Raiders right now.
Yeah. All right, up next, NFC West rivalry. We got the Arizona Cardinals going to Levi Stadium to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Cardinals surprise win over the Dallas Cowboys. Upset of the year so far and away, and the 49ers took care of their business at home on Thursday night against the New York Giants pretty convincingly. Granted, I know Brock Purdy almost threw a couple of interceptions in that game, though, too, but I cannot believe the Dallas Cowboys freaking let that one, didn't even show up to the desert and just got crapped on by Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah.
By far and away. And we already...
Inexcusable loss.
Big time inexcusable loss from Mike McCarthy. And then also for the freaking 49ers. Arguably, I hate to say it I hate to say it, but I think obviously right now, if they keep it up like that, and the way their defense is playing, they look like the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they look like the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I think they're easily Super Bowl contenders, and we'll see how well other teams in the NFC, maybe see how well Philadelphia can get back on track to playing dominant. They got a good little start on that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, beating them convincingly, but 49ers are obviously still winning games very convincingly. And you know something? Cardinals, it was great, but I hate to say it to you, the 49ers are going to knock your asses back down to earth. Lock of the week, 49ers lock of the week.
Yeah, lock of the week. The Cardinals are gonna have a major letdown.
Yeah, it was nice that you did that to Dallas, and you probably ruined your tank for Caleb Williams for that one. But you're taking on the freaking 49ers. They're not going to give you that one.
No.
Yeah. All right, up next, we got the New England Patriots going to Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Patriots beat the New York Jets on the number of now the amount of times on that winning streak that they beat them, 15-10, just like the number. Chris Berman said it on primetime. It was hilarious. And just like the amount of wins they had in a row over the Jets, 15-10 the final.
Yeah, they just own the Jets.
Yeah, Belichick owns the Jets. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys obviously didn't even show up to Arizona. Embarrassing loss. Obviously, no more Trayvon Diggs for the year because he tore his ACL in the practice out for the year.
Like it showed too on their defense.
By far and away, man. But they're going to be going to that home game.
Head-scratching loss.
They're going to be super pissed about that one. Very head-scratching loss, but indeed, like you mentioned. But I'm going to take I don't know, has Zeke Elliott even played for the Patriots yet this year?
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Zeke Elliott revenge game potentially, but I don't see it happening. Give me the Cowboys to just beat the Patriots at home, and they're going to be pissed they're going in this game super pissed after losing to it.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys to bounce back. I mean, that's just an inexcusable loss.
Losing to a team that's obviously tanking, man. Well, not really, no.
Don't tell the Cardinals that. I mean, the Cardinals have at least played tough this year.
Yeah,
I'll give them credit for that.
But still, look at the teams they lost. Look at the teams they lost to, though. They lost to the freaking Commanders, 20-16, and then they choked that 20-0 halftime lead to the New York Giants.
Yeah, but man, the Cardinals, man, they easily could be 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
And they choked it.
By far and away. All right, up next, Sunday Night Football. I am going to this game, guys. I am going to this game, but we totally got robbed in week one. What should have been the first Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes game.
Yep.
I mean, like the other times. I mean, now pretty much Patrick Mahomes had that injury in 2019 when the Chiefs played the Packers when Rodgers was there in Arrowhead Stadium, which Shady McCoy fumbled that game away. And then the next game, freaking Rodgers had COVID, and the Chiefs won that game. And now pretty much Rodgers on the Jets, he tears his freaking Achilles in week one on the fourth play of the game, and now they have to play Zach Wilson against him now. But yes, I am going to this game. I still want to go to this game to just go to my first non-Seahawks NFL game. I will be wearing my AFC throwback Seahawks jersey to that game since it will be the AFC game in MetLife Stadium. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I think they found their rhythm and they're getting back in their competitive form with the way they dominated the Chicago Bears. They needed that to pretty much start getting on the roll and get the offensive mojo going, especially with him and Mahomes and Kelsey really getting it going, especially with Kelsey. And Taylor Swift had to be pretty happy about that, seeing her reaction up in the suite to see Kelsey scoring one of those touchdowns.
Yeah, the Chiefs looked like they were in Super Bowl form last week.
Yep. I think they look like they're back, and I think it continues for them. Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to take care of their business against the Jets and shred them. I'm taking Kansas City.
Yeah, give me Kansas City big. This game lost all of its hype after Rodgers went down.
By far and away.
Man, they really... Too bad they can't flex out of this one because the Miami-Buffalo game should be the Sunday night game.
By far and away, man. That definitely should be the Sunday night game. All right.
They made the schedule in May when we thought Rodgers was going to be playing.
And yet, in typical New York Jets curse snake-bitten fashion, Rodgers blows the Achilles on the fourth play of the first.
And we get to see Zach Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes. And they're already talking about maybe should Zach Wilson be benched already after like 2 weeks.
Who are they bringing in? Matt Ryan? Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I don't know. they're in for a really long year.
By far and away. And last but not least, our game. I am going to this one too the next night. But in the jersey that Pete Carroll had made for me, we got the Seattle Seahawks going into MetLife Stadium where they took the Lombardi Trophy home from to take on the New York Giants. still got a freaking 5-0 record there, Super Bowl included. Seahawks coming off of that 37-27 win over the Carolina Panthers, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Super Bowl 48 with the Super Bowl 48 team minus Russell Wilson and Earl Thomas, and rest in peace Tavares Jackson in the house celebrating 10 years. That was a great celebration. I got to hold the trophy before that game too, and they even got to talk to old friends like Golden Tate, Jermaine Kearse, and O'Brien Schofield. I talked to Ricardo Lockett again too, and Breno Giacomini handed me the trophy. That was a fun day. A little rusty, but shout out to Jason Myers for redeeming himself from the week before that in Detroit. He went 5 for 5. He practically scored pretty much freaking 17 of our 37 points in that game.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the New York Giants, they got, like I said, you fall deep like that to San Francisco, you're not coming back from that, kind of like what you did against Arizona. And Saquon Barkley should still be out in that game, and I don't know why the hell the Giants are even favored in this game.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. The Giants should be 0-3.
Yeah, they really should. I mean, but still, I'm not going to sleep on it in this game though too. And plus the MetLife Stadium streak, hopefully we can keep it alive. Knock on wood. I am going to this game, like I said, another road game. Finally get to go. A week after celebrating the 10-year reunion of the Super Bowl team, we now go to the stadium where we brought that trophy home from to take. And let's hope we can go in there and we know Saquon Barkley's going to be out again, but obviously we got to have some major protection. We're taking on Thibodeau, and we still had we had pretty much hopefully we get Jason Peters in there. We're still going to be without Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, so got to hold it in there. Feed Walker, feed Charbonnet. Walker and Charbonnet looked really good back on Sunday, and then got to spread it around with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Hopefully we get to finally later on see Jackson Smith and Jigba have a breakout game. I hope this could be the game that JSN breaks out.
Yeah, he's pretty much been a non-factor so far.
But at least Jake Bobo got to pitch in and score a touchdown. It's like eventually JSN is going to break out eventually soon. The question is when. I think this would be a great game to do it in because 49ers, they absolutely shredded the Giants back on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking the Seahawks to go in to MetLife Stadium and make it 6-0 there all time. But knocking on wood and not overlooking this Giants team. We can't afford to fall victim into a trap, but we definitely need this one to get to 3-1 going into the bye week. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks as well to make it 3 in a row and keep it going. But, can't take the Giants lightly. The Giants are a desperate team.
They are.
The Giants do not want to fall to 1-3.
If we can knock them to that, I'll tell you what. Freaking Boye Mafe and freaking our pass rush has to really get after Daniel Jones. I think Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosu, they got to be main factors. Again, Jaron Reed had a hell of a game, too. He had 2 sacks. I think Jaron Reed's going to be a big factor, but we also got to remember this factor. The Giants don't have Saquon Barkley. I don't think they're going to have Saquon Barkley again this week at all.
No, I would doubt that he plays.
Granted, we know what happened last time. Granted, he did have the touchdown after coming off of that fluke Tyler Lockett fumble last year before Halloween, which I was at that game too in Lumen Field. But we pretty much locked up and shut down Saquon Barkley the last go-around.
Is this the first time we've played the Giants at MetLife since 2017?
Yeah. First time since 2017. All right, no split this time around. We going Seahawks over Giants. We're going Lions over Packers, Jaguars over Falcons, Rams over Colts, Browns over Ravens, Vikings over Panthers, Bengals over Titans, Buccaneers over Saints, Dolphins over Bills, Broncos over Bears in the Toilet Bowl, Eagles over Commanders, Steelers over Texans, Chargers over Raiders, 49ers lock of the week over the Cardinals, Cowboys over Patriots, Chiefs over Jets. I'm going to that game too. Seahawks over Giants. I'm going to that game. And these are our week 4 picks. Let's see how well we can do this week. Dallas?
Yep, we had a pretty good week last week.
Well, you did too. You went 11-5. I went 10-6. And anyway, also I got the week 5 picks printed out because Dallas and I are going to do the week 5 picks as soon as I get off the plane and get back home because I got the next day off for when I get back home. So stay tuned for that. post-game reaction will probably come from me in MetLife Stadium as I'm walking out of the stadium, or maybe because my seats are going to be close to the Seahawks tunnel for the Seahawks-Giants game. And hey, you know what? I'll probably also go live for some of the Jets versus Chiefs game if you guys want to come into that on my phone. I'll definitely think about doing that too. But yeah. Anyway, catch y'all later. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks. I will see y'all in New York Thursday night for the Thursday night smoke stream.